Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review and demo over a fairly new product. It is the Ulta Contour Kit, and I've actually had this product since about November, which is when I think it came out. So I've really been putting this to the test and using it a lot. When I first bought it, I didn't like it. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. The colors kind of scared me. I didn't used to bronze or anything, so this was kind of just something that I wanted to at least do a video of it because online you cannot tell anything about the shades. Then I started using it more like just within the past month and I fell in love with it. I think it's an amazing product. So let's just go ahead and get into the review of it. So I am wearing 5 out of 6 colors from this palette on my face right now as a bronzer, contour, and I use both the highlighters. But first let's talk about the packaging. When I first saw this, I saw it online. But when you see it online, this is the only picture you see of it. You just see the cover and you can't see into the shades because the cover is transparent, which I do like, but the cover has a picture of a woman on here that kind of gives you a guide of the colors and stuff and where to apply it when you highlight and contour. And you can see the white on here and the different shades of brown. I just think that's really silly because you can't see into it to see the shades or anything. This is a cardboard packaging. This doesn't snap or anything. The cover on it does magnetize, which I do like. I like palettes that are magnetic instead of like snap because I think snap palettes they're more prone to breaking and stuff, and I don't like them. I don't know if this is 100% secure. I haven't had any problems with it, but if you're someone that travels, I feel like if it hits something, it could easily, come up and this could get everywhere. I have traveled with it, but I usually put it in some kind of like container or it's in a cloth bag, so I haven't had any problems. But if you are someone that travels a lot, just be leery of that. The bag, I didn't notice this when I first bought it, but as you can see right here, it kind of gives you, there's a little slit, and it gives you a guide of how to use this, which I think is really cool for beginners. On the sheet, it kind of shows you how to use it and what products to use if you have more fair skin tones. And then on the other side, it tells you how to use it and all that stuff if you have medium or deeper skin tones. It tells you which shades to use in here, where to apply it, and all that stuff. So I think that's really, really neat, and that's a good idea for people that are beginners. So this palette is $18, which I think is actually a steal for the amount of product that you're getting. You are getting 6 shades, and I will show you guys each shade up close and the swatches of them in just a second. But I think it's really cool and respectable of Ulta to do something like this that's kind of similar, not a dupe, I'm not saying it's a dupe at all, but something similar to like the Anastasia Contour Kit, which was the most talked about, raved about product of 2014 in my opinion. I haven't tried that because it is $40 and I just don't want to dish out $40 for something like that, because I feel like a lot of these makeup brands are going to start coming around to it and making stuff like that, so I'm just waiting it out. But yeah, $18 for something that's pretty much the same concept. The shades are completely different from the Anastasia Contour Kit. I think it's amazing quality, especially for the price. All these shades are super easy to blend out. They're super creamy and smooth and buttery. There's not a lot of fallout or anything, and they apply like a dream, and they just kind of like mesh into your skin, and they don't sit on top of it. They're very, very finely milled, so you're not going to see like 15 layers of product on your skin. I've been using it pretty much every single day. Like I said, when I first bought it, it kind of scared me because there aren't really any lighter shades in here, but the only like true contour shade is this one right here, which I'll show up close in just a second. But it's very, very dark, and the point of a contour kit is to have shades that contour, and I was looking at reviews of this when I first got it to kind of see a wide array of people using it to see who it's going to be good for and all that stuff. And the majority of the reviews I saw were people of deeper skin tones talking about it and loving it, so I was like, okay, that makes sense. These are very, very dark shades. So you are getting 6 shades in this. You're getting 2 shimmery highlighters, which aren't super shimmery at all. They kind of just give a nice subtle glow to your skin, and then you're getting 4 matte bronzer slash contour shades. These 2 on the left side I think are better for bronzing, and these 2 on the right, which are more cool toned, I think are better for contouring, because the 2 shades on the left are more of an orange undertone, and these on the right are more of a cool or neutral undertone, which is what you want when contouring. But let me just say that I actually did not bronze at all until I started using this kit, and I never really I never understood why people bronze, because even though I'm very light skinned, I kind of just work with it. I usually just contour and blush and highlighter. I don't ever use bronzer. But I kind of really fell in love with bronzing after I bought this kit, because I just find that bronzing before contouring just kind of helps give like a soft, focused, blurred effect before you apply your contour. It just adds a little more depth and dimension into your face, and on top of that, a little more color, which this pasty patty needs. So after kind of doing some research on this, I figured out that Ulta's concept behind this is that the shades on the left are more suitable for fair skin tones, and the shades on the right are more suitable for deeper skin tones or medium skin tones. In my opinion, I think there's so many different ways you can wear this. I don't think there's like any kind of rules that you have to abide by when using this. I like to mix the shades together to get my perfect shade, which I love. They mix together so well. They don't look muddy on your skin or anything. I just recommend playing around with it and seeing what works best with your skin tone. Now I'm going to show you guys each shade individually up close, because like I said, if you want to pick this up online instead of going to the stores, you're not going to be able to tell anything about these shades at all. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully you're able to tell something about these on the camera. So let's get started. So starting with the highlighters on the top, going from left to right, this one right here is called Radiance Highlighter. This is more of a pink toned highlighter. I think this is really, really pretty for more fair or porcelain skin. So if you have more mature skin, you're not gonna have to worry about looking like a disco ball or anything, because it's really, really subtle. And then right next to it is Luster Highlighter, and this is more of a yellow gold undertone. And a lot of the reviews I watched of this said this is a dupe for NARS Albatross. Moving on to the bronzers, this one right here is called Warmth Bronzer. This is the lightest bronzer in the palette, and this is just more of a neutral undertone bronzer. And it's kind of just like a camel tan color. It's right next to it is Golden Bronzer. This is also more of a neutral tone bronzer. You could probably use this for contour. I just think this is a little too dark for bronzing. If you have medium or deeper skin tones, this will probably be fine for you for bronzing. So moving on to the bottom row, this one right here is called Bombshell Bronzer, and this is by far the most orange shade in the palette. It definitely has some red undertones to it, and I think it's perfect for bronzing. To kind of counteract the redness in it, I like to mix it with the Warmth Bronzer, which is, like I said, more neutral toned, and that kind of balances it out, makes it a little less orange. Last is this one right here, which is the deepest shade in the palette. This is called Goddess Bronzer, and this is also the most cool tone shade in the palette. I think it's most suitable for contouring. Like I said, if you have more porcelain skin, I don't know if this is going to work for you, but it's worth a shot. So instead of putting in two highlighters, I wish they'd put in just one shimmery highlight, and maybe like a light powder, like to set your under eye concealer, or to set the center parts of your face, or like a yellow banana powder like the Anastasia Contour Kit one has. I think two highlighters is just unnecessary. And I also wish they had substituted in here like a very cool tone, like taupey color that would be more suitable for contouring for like even pale skin tones, because like I said, this color is the most cool toned out of the palette, and it's very, very dark. But if you are super porcelain and super fair, I just don't think that's going to work for you, and this might not be the palette for you as far as contouring goes. So yeah, if they had added a light powder or banana powder and like a taupey contour shade, I think this palette would have been absolutely incredible. I think it would have been flawless. So if you guys want to see this baby in action, then keep watching. So for bronzer, I do use this angled blush brush from e.l.f. They don't sell this anymore. This was part of the mineral line, but you can use a fluffy brush. If you can use an angled blush brush like this, you can use anything you have, just something that's a little fluffier, is not as precise, because you're want to get it over a wider area than you would be if you were contouring. So just keep that in mind, but use whatever you got. So for bronzer, I mix Warmth Bronzer, which is, like I said, the lightest shade, and Bombshell Bronzer, which is the orange undertone shade. So I just mix those two together. I just kind of start at the hollows of my cheeks and work my way up, almost as if I was applying blush. I don't want it to go any further down than the hollows of my cheeks. So I just kind of work my way up into the temples of my forehead, and then going as close as possible to the hairline, just kind of bring it around to the top of my forehead. And I want to keep the entire center of my forehead light, so I'm not putting any bronzer in there. I'm just kind of going like, I'm just kind of like hitting the perimeters of my face. And then I come down here and hit my jawline. And I am going to contour my nose, so I bring just a little bit of bronzer along the sides of my nose, like I said, just to help blur it out later. And that's pretty much it for bronzer. Now I go on to contouring. So this is my favorite contour brush. This is the Makeup Geek Rounded Blush Brush. And I love this brush because it's so little and precise. For contouring, I use the Goddess Bronzer down here, which is the darkest color. And then I start back here towards my ear. And then once I've got it in the hollows where I want, I start blending upward in circular motions. And I like to kind of go in up and down motions, like up and down zigzags, just to blend it up. You don't want to blend it downward because that defeats the purpose of contouring. So I'm just going in short little dragging motions in a way. I have a very, very light hand with this. So I'm just going to go back in with my bronzer brush. You can take a clean brush if you want. And I'm just going to blend that out a little bit just so it's not super harsh. So then I'm going to go along the hairline once again and kind of connect it to what we just did. So I'm staying as close as possible to the hairline. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and apply it to my jawline. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but it does make you look like you have better bone structure. So I do like to do just a tiny bit. So now on to contouring my nose. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I do have a wider or larger nose. So I'm going to take a smaller, fluffier brush that's a little more precise though. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush, and this is what it looks like. It's small, but it's not too small where it's not going to blend it out. Going down the sides of my nose, avoiding the bridge, and connecting it to the inner part of my eyebrow. And a lot of people don't do this, but I like to blend my contour down on my nose, like down on the sides here, because I feel like if you're just contouring like just like here, just like the sides of the nose, I don't feel like that looks natural enough, especially if you have like wider nostrils like I do. So I want to make it look like they're more narrow and sunk in, so that's why I do it. So I'm just going in small little circular motions, and once again very light hand. And since I have a wider tip, I want to make it a little more narrow, so I kind of go in like a V shape of the tip to make it look a little more pointy instead of wide and large. Then if you want to go back in and kind of blend out the edges if it's too harsh or whatever, I like to go back in with my powder brush. This is the e.l.f. powder brush. I'm going to go back in and go right under the contour, and if you want to, you can add product on this. Like if you have like a lighter powder, you can do that, but I don't want to add any more product. I just want to blend out the edges. So I kind of just go in the areas where I didn't contour or bronze, just around it, just to blend out the edges so that it looks more natural. I like to go like in the center of my forehead so that it's hitting just the edges and it's kind of blending it together where it looks like it's one. Now I'm just going to apply blush. But yeah, you cannot contour and bronze and highlight without blush. It just does not look right. So for this side, I'm going to be using the Radiance Highlighter, which is the pink toned highlighter. I'm going to be taking that on a Makeup Geek cheek highlighter brush and getting quite a bit of product on the brush, and then just kind of stippling it on the cheekbones. And I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera, but it looks really, really nice. It looks very, very glowy. I'm also going right above my eyebrow and then applying some down the bridge of my nose. If you have super oily skin, you don't have to do this because that's probably just going to accentuate it, but I like to. Then the Cupid's bow. So I'm going to go off camera and do the other side of my face, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back with this side of my face done. I think it looks so beautiful, and I hope you guys could see as I was applying it how well it blended out and how easy it is to work with. So that is it for my review and demo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thumbs up if you liked the video, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day as always. Mwah.